What if AI is not coming to take your job? What if AI is coming to expose the lie you were forced to live inside? Because the real story is not automation. The real story is identity. For centuries, you were trained to believe that your value comes from productivity. You work, therefore you matter. You earn, therefore you are responsible. You stay busy, therefore you are respectable. You climb, compete, perform, produce, consume, and somehow convince yourself that this is freedom. But now AI walks into the room like a silent witness. It does not shout, it does not argue, it simply performs. It writes, it calculates, it designs, it analyzes, it optimizes, it summarizes, it codes, it predicts, it creates, it replaces entire layers of activity that human beings were told gave them meaning. And suddenly the old world starts trembling, not because machines are becoming powerful, but because human beings are realizing how much of their life was spent proving their worth to systems that never truly cared about their soul. This is the raw truth. AI will not just change work. AI will expose why work became a cage. AI will expose why capitalism became anxiety with better branding. AI will expose why authoritarian systems became obedience disguised as order. AI will expose why social media became emotional manipulation disguised as connection. AI will expose why institutions became rituals of control instead of engines of human growth. And most importantly, AI will expose you to yourself. Because once survival work begins to lose its central place, the real question will not be, what job will I do? The real question will be, who am I when I am no longer being used? That question will break people. That question will liberate people. That question will separate the unconscious from the sovereign. Because the AI age will not simply reward technical skill. It will reward self-knowledge, emotional maturity, creativity, discernment, adaptability, ethical intelligence, and the courage to live without hiding behind systems. The first collapse will be psychological. People think the first collapse will be economic. They imagine job losses, income disruption, new platforms, new industries, new regulations, and new markets. Yes, all of that will happen. But beneath those events, something far deeper will happen. The personality built around performance will begin to crack. If your entire nature has been shaped around proving yourself, AI will feel like humiliation. If your drive has always been competition, AI will feel like a threat. If your identity has been tied to being the expert, the achiever, the provider, the intelligent one, the indispensable one, AI will trigger a silent existential panic. You may not call it fear. You may call it skepticism. You may call it concern. You may call it realism. But underneath, it is the terror of becoming irrelevant in the eyes of a system that taught you relevance was everything. This is why AI will affect personality so deeply. The performer will panic because applause will become cheaper. The expert will panic because information will become abundant. The manager will panic because coordination will become automated. The influencer will panic because visibility will no longer equal value. The bureaucrat will panic because procedure will no longer justify power. The consumer will panic because distraction will no longer fill the inner emptiness. The obedient citizen will panic because institutions will no longer be able to hide behind complexity. And the emotionally unconscious person will panic because AI will remove many of the external excuses that kept them from facing their own inner life. This is not a technology transition. This is a human confrontation. AI will force you to ask, what is actually alive in me? Not what title do I carry, not what degree did I earn, not what company pays me, not what ideology protects me, not what audience follows me, not what lifestyle I display. What is alive in me? What can I create when I'm not afraid? What can I love when I'm not performing? What can I build when I'm not begging the system for permission? What can I become when my survival identity is no longer the center of my life? This is where human sovereignty begins. Sovereignty is not selfishness. Sovereignty is not isolation. Sovereignty is not ego rebellion. Sovereignty is the ability to think, feel, create, discern, cooperate, question, contribute, and self-regulate without needing constant external control. A sovereign human being does not need the market to define value. A sovereign human being does not need the state to define truth. A sovereign human being does not need social media to define identity. A sovereign human being does not need institutions to define legitimacy. A sovereign human being can engage with systems without being owned by them. That is exactly why dying systems fear sovereignty. Because dying systems need dependency. They need you anxious enough to consume, confused enough to obey, distracted enough not to question, divided enough not to cooperate, exhausted enough not to create, and emotionally wounded enough to accept crumbs as fulfillment. AI will expose that game. Capitalism will be pressured first because current capitalism depends on endless hunger. It needs you to want more, buy more, compare more, borrow more, chase more, upgrade more, and remain dissatisfied enough to keep the machine moving. It sells aspiration while manufacturing insecurity. It sells freedom while trapping you in debt. It sells identity while hollowing out your inner life. It sells success while burning out your nervous system. It sells personal branding while quietly converting your humanity into marketable performance. And now AI enters and asks a dangerous question. If machines can produce more with less human labor, why should human beings remain trapped in survival anxiety? If intelligence can optimize systems, why should abundance remain locked behind artificial scarcity? If automation can perform repetitive work, why should millions of people waste their lives doing meaningless tasks just to prove they deserve food, shelter, healthcare, education, and dignity? That is not a small question. That is a civilizational accusation. The old economic model treats you as a labor unit and a consumption engine. Your body produces, your attention is harvested, your insecurity is monetized, your desires are manipulated, your data is extracted, and your dreams are converted into purchasing behavior. That is not freedom. That is elegant captivity. AI will expose it as a low-intelligence civilization design, not because markets are evil, not because entrepreneurship is wrong, not because innovation should be punished, but because any system that requires mass anxiety to function is spiritually and psychologically immature. A truly intelligent civilization would not organize itself around keeping people insecure enough to remain obedient. It would organize itself around liberating human potential. And that is where career changes completely. In the old world, your career was often a survival structure. You chose what paid, what looked stable, what gave status, what kept parents calm, what made society respect you, what helped you climb. In the AI age, that becomes fragile. The future career is not merely a job description. It becomes an expression of intelligence, originality, relationship, trust, taste, judgment, ethics, and human depth. The people who survive will not be the people who only know how to follow process. They will be the people who know how to ask better questions. They will be the people who can combine disciplines. They will be the people who can interpret human need. They will be the people who can turn technology into meaning. They will be the people who can build communities, tell stories, design systems, heal fragmentation, educate with depth, lead with wisdom, and create value that does not come from mechanical repetition. This is why arts, culture, philosophy, psychology, spirituality, history, storytelling, ethics, and human development will return to the center. For too long, society treated humanities as decorative and technical fields as serious. AI will reverse that arrogance. When machines can calculate, code, analyze, draft, and optimize, the uniquely human frontier moves toward meaning. Meaning becomes wealth. Culture becomes infrastructure. Trust becomes currency. Emotional intelligence becomes leadership. Ethics becomes strategy. Creativity becomes survival. Self-mastery becomes employability, and sovereignty becomes the new status. This will also change intimate relationships. Because if work stops being the primary identity, many relationships will lose the false structure holding them together. A lot of relationships are not built on love. They are built on roles: provider and dependent, achiever and admirer, controller and pleaser, busy partner and lonely partner, emotionally unavailable worker and emotionally starving spouse, status couple, performance couple, brand couple, survival couple. When AI begins to loosen the grip of traditional productivity identity, the emotional truth of relationships will surface. You will no longer be able to hide behind being busy forever. You will no longer be able to avoid intimacy by saying you are building a career. You will no longer be able to substitute income for presence. You will no longer be able to confuse providing with loving. You will no longer be able to confuse admiration with connection. This is where many relationships will either deepen or collapse. Because AI will not only change what you do during the day, It will change who you are when you come home. If your relationship depends on distraction, it will suffer. If your relationship depends on hierarchy, it will be challenged. If your relationship depends on emotional avoidance, it will crack. If your relationship depends on external status, it will become hollow. But if your relationship is built on truth, freedom, emotional maturity, curiosity, sensual presence, shared creation, and conscious cooperation, it may become stronger than ever. Because the future will not reward couples who merely survive together. It will reward partners who evolve together. The same is true for communities. The old community was often built around geography, religion, class, workplace, family pressure, political identity, or inherited culture. Some of that had beauty, some of it had wisdom. But much of it also carried control, shame, conformity, and fear. The AI age will demand a new kind of community. Not crowd, not tribe, not fan base, not ideological mob. Community. A living network of sovereign people who choose cooperation without surrendering their individuality. That is the next model. The future is not individualism versus collectivism. That debate is too old, too crude, too exhausted. Individualism without responsibility becomes narcissism. Collectivism without freedom becomes control. The next model is conscious cooperation. You remain yourself, but you learn to serve something larger. You protect your freedom, but you do not weaponize it against others. You build community, but you do not allow community to become a prison. You use technology, but you do not let technology replace conscience. This is the future AI should help build, but it is not guaranteed. That is the dangerous part. AI can liberate humanity, or it can become the most efficient control system ever created. Capitalism can use AI to extract more precisely. Governments can use AI to surveil more deeply. Social media can use AI to addict more intelligently. Institutions can use AI to preserve old authority while pretending to modernize. Corporations can use AI to reduce human dependency without increasing human dignity. That is the dark path. And let us be honest, many powerful systems will choose that path unless people resist it, because power rarely gives up control voluntarily. That is why human rights must become non-negotiable in the AI age. The right to think freely, the right to create, the right to privacy, the right to dignity beyond economic productivity, the right to question institutions, the right to access knowledge, the right to cultural identity, the right to participate in society even when your labor is no longer commercially required, the right not to be reduced to a data profile. If AI is built without human rights, it becomes digital domination. If AI is built with human rights, it becomes liberation architecture. The difference is not the machine. The difference is the consciousness of the people designing and governing the machine. And this brings us to social media. Social media is one of the clearest examples of what happens when technology grows faster than human maturity. It began as connection and became extraction. It learned how to monetize outrage, comparison, insecurity, vanity, tribal rage, loneliness, and emotional reactivity. It does not ask what makes you wiser. It asks what keeps you engaged. That difference is everything. Engagement is not consciousness. Virality is not value. Visibility is not truth. Influence is not wisdom. Content is not culture. The next phase of AI must break this addiction economy, or it will intensify it into something even more dangerous. Because AI-powered platforms can either elevate attention or destroy it completely. They can help people learn, create, reflect, connect, and organize. Or they can trap people in hyper-personalized emotional cages, feeding each person exactly the illusion, outrage, fantasy, fear, and validation that keeps them scrolling. That is not entertainment. That is psychological captivity. The future of social media should not be addiction with better graphics. It should be human creativity with better tools. It should reward depth, artistry, learning, cultural preservation, local engagement, long-form thinking, emotional insight, practical wisdom, and real community. The creator of the future will not win merely by shouting louder. The creator of the future will win by becoming more truthful, more useful, more original, more embodied, more ethical, more human. That is the new influence. Not manipulation, resonance, not followers, trust, not content volume, conscious impact. This also means institutions will have to justify their existence again. Education will have to prove it creates intelligence, not just credentials. Government will have to prove it serves citizens, not just regulates them. Corporations will have to prove they create value, not just extract labor and data. Media will have to prove it clarifies reality, not just manufactures narratives. Culture will have to prove it carries living meaning, not just decorative heritage. The old institution says, trust us because we are the authority. The new institution will have to say, trust us because we help you become more capable, informed, sovereign, creative, connected, and free. That is a completely different social contract. And many institutions are not ready for it, because many institutions survive through complexity. They make things difficult, slow, procedural, intimidating, and dependent. They hide behind forms, titles, permissions, certifications, committees, policies, and jargon. AI will expose how much of this is unnecessary. The future institution will not be a control tower. It will be a platform for human flourishing. Now, look at this personally, because this is not just about civilization. This is about you. AI will reveal your nature. If you are driven by fear, you will use AI to compete harder. If you're driven by ego, you will use AI to inflate your image. If you are driven by greed, you will use AI to extract faster. If you are driven by laziness, you will use AI to imitate effort. If you are driven by creativity, you will use AI to multiply expression. If you are driven by service, you will use AI to solve real problems. If you are driven by wisdom, you will use AI to deepen human life. AI does not automatically make people better. It amplifies what is already there. That is the mystery and the danger. The tool is not the final issue. The human using the tool is the issue. This is why the AI age is a spiritual test disguised as a technological revolution. It asks whether you are conscious enough to handle abundance. It asks whether you are mature enough to handle freedom. It asks whether you are ethical enough to handle power. It asks whether you are creative enough to live beyond survival. It asks whether you are emotionally honest enough to stop hiding behind productivity. And it asks whether society is brave enough to stop worshiping dead systems simply because they are familiar. Because the old world will not disappear quietly. It will defend itself. It will call sovereignty selfish. It will call creativity impractical. It will call questioning dangerous. It will call human dignity unaffordable. It will call freedom disorder. It will call obedience responsibility. It will call extraction efficiency. It will call surveillance safety. It will call manipulation engagement. It will call burnout ambition. Do not be fooled. A dying system always renames its control as virtue. The AI age demands sharper eyes. You must learn to see what is really happening beneath the language. When a company says efficiency, ask who becomes disposable. When a platform says engagement, ask what part of your mind is being harvested. When a government says safety, ask what freedom is being traded. When an institution says standards, ask whether it protects excellence or preserves gatekeeping. When a culture says success, ask what kind of human being it produces, because that is the diagnostic engine of the future. Not slogans. Results. What kind of person does this system create? Does it create sovereign humans or dependent humans? Does it create creative humans or obedient humans? Does it create emotionally mature humans or reactive humans? Does it create communities or mobs? Does it create culture or content? Does it create dignity or anxiety? Does it create wisdom or performance? That is how you judge the future. Not by how advanced the technology looks, by what it does to the human soul. The AI revolution is not machines becoming more human. That is the shallow story. The deeper story is whether humans will finally become more human, more sovereign, more creative, more truthful, more embodied, more relational, more responsible, more alive. Because if AI can handle much of the mechanical intelligence of civilization, then human beings are being invited into the intelligence of meaning. That is not a downgrade, that is an initiation. You are not being asked merely to reskill, you are being asked to rehumanize. You are being asked to stop confusing productivity with worth. You are being asked to stop confusing busyness with purpose. You are being asked to stop confusing visibility with value. You are being asked to stop confusing obedience with virtue. You are being asked to stop confusing consumption with life. And maybe that is why this moment feels so unsettling. Because deep down, many people know the old world is not working. They know their career is not fully alive. They know their relationships are not fully honest. They know their institutions are not fully trustworthy. They know their attention is being manipulated. They know their nervous system is tired. They know their creativity has been buried. They know their inner life has been postponed for too long. AI did not create that emptiness. AI is revealing it. And that is why the future will not belong to the people who simply learn prompts. It will belong to the people who learn themselves. It will belong to those who can integrate technology, wisdom, ambition with ethics, freedom with responsibility, intimacy with honesty, career with purpose, and intelligence with humanity. That is the real edge. Not faster output, deeper alignment, not more automation, more sovereignty, not more noise, more truth. So when you look at AI, do not only ask, how can I use this tool? Ask, what is this tool revealing about my life? Where am I still dependent? Where am I still performing? Where am I still afraid? Where am I still outsourced? Where am I still pretending? Where am I still obeying systems that no longer deserve my obedience? And where am I ready to become sovereign? Because the AI age is not waiting for anyone. It will rearrange careers. It will expose relationships. It will pressure institutions. It will challenge governments. It will recalibrate social media. It will dissolve false authority. It will reward originality. It will punish unconscious repetition. It will amplify both wisdom and madness. And it will force every human being to confront the same question. Are you here to be managed by the future, or are you here to consciously shape it? That is where the real work begins. Not in the machine, in you. And if this conversation speaks to something you're already feeling in your career, your relationships, your inner life, your purpose, or the strange pressure you feel around the future, then maybe this is not just an idea for you. Maybe this is a mirror. Maybe this is your invitation to look deeper, to understand your own patterns, your own drives, your own nature, your own timing, your own choices, and your own path in this rapidly changing world. Get in touch with me for a personal reading, a deeper career and life pattern analysis, or a reflective session that works for you. Because the future is not only about AI, the future is about the human being you are becoming while the old world dissolves around you. Like, share, subscribe, and stay connected if this message landed somewhere real. And more importantly, do not just watch the future happen. Wake up inside it.